Hello! Welcome to the complete guide to mining. This video will cover everything up until the Glacite camps, as I don't want to stretch out this video way too long, and Glacite camps is pretty self-explanatory. So, enjoy the video. First things first, to get started with mining is you obviously need to get mining 12. The fastest way to do this is mining sand with efficiency 2 golden shovel. Once you get mining 12, you just get 15 of an enchanted ore. Lapis will be fastest, and turn it into this guy Reese. Unlock the Dwarven mines. First thing you want to do in the Dwarven mines is buy a pickaxe from Boo Boo. Just buy the fractured mithril pickaxe. Next thing you want to do is grind a full set of Glacial armor that are dropped by the things Glacial walkers. This will be your first set of mining armor. With your full set of Glacite and your fractured mithril pickaxe, you should start doing your daily commissions. Daily commissions are an autumn XP bonus. The first 4 commissions you do a day. So you want to log on and do first 4 commissions per day so you have enough HOTM XP for HOTM 4. While you do these commissions, you might see passive events going on in the Dwarven mines. Please do every single one, as these can drop items that are really important for the future, as in flow state books, Dwarven ore oats, and the royal reforge that you can put on your future mining equipment. Examples of these events include Raffle, Valvin Raid, and Mithril Gormans. These all give you these items and mithril powder on completion. You should hit up every single one. At this point, you should have enough mithril to forge the mithril equipment. This is really good equipment for mining speed and mining fortune. And also, if you pair it with the royal reforge that you get from the Dwarven mines and passive events, you can gain more mithril powder from them. You should have this reforge on your equipment until you have max mithril powder. So it's really important that you get it on Earth. As you get more HOTM XP, your tree should start looking like this. Mining speed, fortune, titanium, and sanium at HOTM 2 with your 3 tokens. Then when you get HOTM 3, you get Picabulus and Efficient Miner. So it's a backwards T. And you want to use Picabulus because Picabulus is really good for just getting a bunch of your mithril comps done. And Efficient Miner, as it just helps you get more blocks mined. Now once you get HOTM 4 and unlock the Crystal Hollows, the first thing you should do is get your hands on a jungle pick. You can buy your jungle pick at this structure in the jungle. Use a wishing compass to find it. Ottawa sells this for 200 sludge juice. So on the way, you can just kill a bunch of sludges, get 200 sludge. Now, as soon as you get this jungle pick, please just slap compact on it instantly. You're gonna be mining a lot with it, powder mining, doing a bunch of stuff, so it's worth. Trust me. This jungle pick is actually better than your mithril pickaxe for mining titanium and mithril. So use this instead if you're doing your daily comp still. And also put flow state on it if you have a flow state or more. You can put up to flow state 3 on this. Trust me, it's worth, especially later on when you're gonna mine hardstone. Now, there's actually some prereqs. You got this far, you got a jungle pick, you got Glacial armor, now you're HOTM 4. But before you want to advance, I would recommend you get a good farming setup. Because you're not making money from mining in a while. So don't think you can just rush mining, start making money off mining. Get a farming setup. It's a more linear progression, and you need money to progress in other parts of the game. Speaking of other parts of the game, you should also progress in dungeons, have a good melee setup to kill some combat mobs in the Crystal Hollows, along with fishing progression. Mining is one of the few skills in this game that isn't really linear. It requires progress in other parts of the game. So you don't really want to rush mining. You could do daily comps though, so I would just stick to that till you have other stuff more progressed. I should also mention you should have Fruitful on your jungle pick. This is sold by the mine merchant called the Black Diamond. Really cheap, just extra mining, fortune, and speed. The first step in progressing in the Crystal Hollows is hardstone mining. So that means you need to spend 2 more tokens, which you get from 2-4 HOTM, on Mole, and the other one doesn't matter. You can get on Quick Forge, Gem Lover, or Professional, doesn't matter. But get Mole, and you want to dump all your gemstone powder into this. I would put the Ancient Flow State on your jungle pick, as this gives you a lot of mining speed and will allow you to actually instant pick hardstone. So what you do is you would max out, or not max out, but you would dump all your mithril powder into mining speed, get a decent amount of mining speed. With your full Glacite and flow state on your jungle pick, you should have the 1500 mining speed you need to instant pick hardstone. And with some an efficient miner and Mole, the mining spread would be pretty good, and you actually get hardstone pretty quickly. You want to get 480 enchanted hardstone to craft yourself Flamebreaker armor. After you get Flamebreaker from the hardstone you mined, you should turn that Flamebreaker into Yogg by farming Yoggs and Val in the Chasma Dump for the 160 Yoggies you need. I would recommend just killing Val, as this will give you a chance for the Val pet, which is needed later on in mining. From killing Bal and killing Yogs, you should have enough topaz to put fine topaz in all your Yog. If you don't, then just put a flawless, but I would get full fines in them as soon as possible. Once you have Yog armor with full fines in them, you should talk to Boo Boo again and get yourself a titanium pick. This one, or this one, but this one's cheaper. I will just get this one. This will be used to mine ruby for your first drill. Since you have the titanium pick, you can now mine ruby with that, and you'll mine the 6 fine ruby you need for the ruby drill, as long as you grind the coal for the fuel canister and the items you need for the drill motor. This will be your first drill, and will be used to mine even more gemstones. To upgrade this ruby drill, it requires 3 gemstone mixtures, which is a lot of fine materials, and it takes a little bit to mine manually. So what I would recommend is throw out mining and just do all the Nucleus runs you're gonna do right now, because might as well. Nothing's stopping you from doing them. To get HOTM 7 and to get all the drops that you need. So I would just thug it out and do the 80 runs slowly but surely. So then when you're done with them, you can just forge the gemstone drill without having to mine with your shitty ruby drill. You might also want to consider forging yourself a mithril drill. This costs 3 refined mithril, a drill motor, and a fuel canister. And do 750 Dwarven mine commissions for the warp sand scroll. This will get you powder, a lot of mithril powder, and get you the warp sand scroll for quality of life for actually doing the 80 runs you have to do. The downside to this is you'll be farming a lot of mithril and doing a lot of mithril powder without powder buff, which just lowers your powder per hour rates, which is not very good, but it is worth for the quality of life if you like prepping a bunch of Nucleus runs and doing them in the same lobby. If you do this method, remember to keep hitting up events, as events is a major factor in your mithril powder rates. And if you don't want to do this method, remember you can do /visit Jimbo for my Warp Crystal Nucleus portal. Here it is in all its glory. Remember to use this. I get social XP too. Look at my leaderboard. Alright, now I'll show you how to do Nucleus Run and the tips on most efficient ways to do one. Crystal is a sapphire crystal. This crystal was obtained by talking to Professor Robot and turning in 6 robot parts to him. The best way to get these robot parts are from either powder mining in the precursor remnants or just killing automatons in the precursor city. I would recommend killing the automatons in the precursor city, as you want to powder mine in the jungle for sludge shoes for a while. They have set spawns usually, so I would just find a path that you're comfortable with and just efficiently farm them by going back over and over and killing them. The next crystal is the Jade Crystal. This crystal is obtained by talking to one of these guys and getting yourself a metal detector, and going down here, spawning each crate by just hoarding it out. NEU has a good solver for this, so I'd recommend downloading NEU. You know, all my mods are in my Discord, so join my Discord if you want all my mining mods. You have to collect 4 tools and turn it into each one of these guys to get the crystal. And the only tip for this really is the NEU mod, and once you have a mole pet, which we'll talk about later in the video, which will increase the odds of finding the tools in each crate. The next crystal is obtained by actually just killing Bal. Once you kill him, he drops the topaz crystal, and the best way to kill him is wearing terror armor and having a wither cloak, and I think it worked with Juju and Term, but you just spam it with the wither cloak on, and it like kills it pretty fast, a lot faster than it would. I heard this lags the server though, so I would not be annoying about it. I don't know. It saves a lot of time, and I think it's worth lagging the server for, in my opinion, because it kills it probably twice as fast. So there's Bal. Obviously, if you don't have the wither cloak and terror armor, and even a Juju or Term, obviously don't do this. Just use like a hurricane bow or something easy, or a regular bow. But yeah, like look at this guy behind. He knows the method. It will take a while at first, but it's not. You only have to do it like 80 times, and you need to drop Bal Pet anyway. The next crystal is the Amethyst Crystal. You need to do a parkour at the Jungle Temple, but first you need to get a Jungle Temple key, which is dropped from a Key Guardian that spawns in a structure, in this structure, and I think other structures like this, but it spawns here. It has like 250k health, and with looting, I would recommend killing it with looting because it could drop 2. The biggest tip I can give to this is when you find one of these, there's no way to wishing compass it. So when you find one of these, please stay at it until you have a lot of keys. Do like 25 and then leave, or do as much as you can get, because these are annoying to come across. I just got lucky. I found one like pretty instantly, but they're really annoying to find when you need them. This is the Jungle Temple. So you would give a key to this guy, and then do the parkour. Or you could actually do an armadillo cheese if you have an armadillo pet, where you stand in this corner and you take the cords and you add 61 to the X value. So we're gonna add 61 to 310, subtract 44 from 112, and then add 18 to the Z. And if you go to those cords, you should have an area where you can armadillo. So I just did the calculation and I got 371, 68, 300. And if I go all the way over there, and as I get there, it will give me the cords for the exact crystal. So I just put out my armadillo pet. Armadillo pet. And then I jump and spam left click and right click. I didn't give it a key, but I'm touching right now and it would count. So all you do is you just jump up and down on the armadillo and it would count as a crystal. Because like magical force, that's me getting it. I just don't have a key right now. And I'm dying in suffocation. Fuck me. But yeah, that's how you get it. It's a really good cheese because doing the parkour takes forever. And then the last crystal is the amber crystal. This one's simple. You just give this guy an egg. You get eggs from killing goblins in the Dwarven mines, or just powder grinding in the amber, or in the goblin holdout. And then he will give you a scent, and then you find the other structure with, once you have the scent, your wishing compass, and it will send you to the queen. And the queen, you just sneak past the guard and click the crystal. So this is the queen. You just, since I have the scent on, I can go past it and just left click the crystal. Easy peasy. And then it goes away.
The final tip I have for you, if you're doing Nucleus runs, is to find a good lobby to do a bunch of runs in. So if you prepped a bunch of runs, like 20, 10, even 50, make sure you have a good lobby where all these structures are close to the Nucleus, so you can easily get them and not have to like travel across the entire crystal hollows to get a crystal. This will shorten the length of your crystal Nucleus run significantly. I did 50 in the bad lobby and it took forever. And I just know if I just took a little bit extra time to find a good lobby, it would have made them a lot faster. Alright, and here's listing out all the items you need. You need at least 4 Jade Emeralds, 24 Divan Frags, a Claw Fossil, 5 Gemstone Grams, 16 Lampity Books, a Helix Fossil, a Fortune 4 book, and an Armadillo Egg. You put 4 Jade Emeralds on Divan Armor, plus extra you get go 1 mineral. Extra Divan Frags you keep to make Divan powder coatings. You should forge Claw and Helix Fossil instantly, because they are useful pets. Claw Fossil makes the mold pet, which is better for Nucleus runs. You want to forge that instantly. And Helix pet is for fishing, which you have to do later on. You want to save 16 Lampity for Lampity 5 for 6x5. And you can put extra on whatever your best mining tool at the time is. Save Fortune 4 for 6x5. If you drop multiple, you can put it on anything you want. And also, if you drop an extra Claw Fossil or Helix Fossil, keep the extra one. You need this when you unlock Glacite camps to turn it into the guy for some extra Skyblock XP. You should do around 80 Nucleus runs to get the 24 Divan Frags and 4 Jade Emeralds. That's the bare minimum you need, but you drop probably the other stuff as long with it. But at HOTM 7, you unlock Powder Buff, which unlocks powder grinding efficiently. So the next step is to powder mine with your jungle pick in the jungle for sludge juice. This is a lot faster now with sludge juice and with gemstone powder, because you no longer get mithril powder in these chests. So you get like probably 1.2 million XP per hour with like max setup, max mold, and max powder buff. But with double powder, that's double. So it can be really good. And this won't take long. I would get all the mixtures you need for the Divan Armor, your chambers, artifacted power, and your drill and drill parts. Get as much gemstone powder as you can, but get at least enough to max out powder buff. The HOTM tree you want to use for gemstone powder mining is the following. You want to make the trident with 2 little things at the end for daily powder and daily grind. You want to focus Great Explorer, Mole, and Powder Buff to actually get gemstone powder. You also want to get Blockhead, Fortune Mine Man, Efficient Miner, and Mining Fortune. And if you can't instant break Hearthstone yet, for some reason, Mining Speed and Speedy Mine Man, put some into it too. You should also be mining with your Armadillo pet out, as this gives more mining spread in Hearthstone. As soon as you have enough extra powder, you also want to get Core of the Mountain. If you get the Core of the Mountain 5, you get 2 more tokens for this tree, so you can get Sky Mall. So you get Old School, Sky Mall. Sky Mall has a buff gain plus 50% more powder while mining, which is really good for obviously powder mining. The most efficient way to powder mine is to get
all the sludge right now, which is 48,960 sludge. I did the calculations. That is a lot of powder mining for just starting out. So I would just break it up and get enough powder to max out Powder Buff, Fortune Mine Man, Speedy Mine Man, Great Explorer, and Mole, as these are the essential ones you need to progress on Mithril powder mining.
Now, if you haven't already, I would forge the Mithril Drill now, because you'll be mining for Mithril powder, in this case, plus 20% Mithril powder. And try to get this one too. It's a little bit more expensive, but 40% Mithril powder is pretty nice too. Max out Powder Buff and start doing Mithril commissions. Do your 750 if you haven't, and get a lot of Mithril to forge a bunch of refined Mithril for your future 655. Remember to always do events while you're mining these commissions of Mithril, as this is also a big factor in your Mithril per hour. Remember to always have one of these buffs on, as they're really nice. So if you're grinding Mithril powder, have the pumpkin on. If you're mining gemstones or anything, the fortune on. And then this, if you're mining Glacial Mineshafts. But yeah, they're nice buffs. I forgot about them, so you probably did too. But always do them. From doing a bunch of Mithril mining, you should have enough titanium to forge the titanium equipment. You also need to have some refined mineral from a mining fiesta. So you should get a stack of refined mineral for your first mining fiesta to get yourself the whole titanium set. The best HOTM tree to Mithril mine is the following. It's the same trident for powder buff, but instead of getting daily powder and daily grind, you would just get Pegagos. And depending on your core of the mound, which you should start to upgrade now, since you have an efficient way to get powder, you might want to consider getting enough tokens to get Sky Mall. The pet you want to be using while Mithril powder mining is Mithril Golem pet. Obviously, as it gives more percentage Mithril powder. This pet's easy to craft and just costs like 2 stacks of enchanted Mithril, which you should have already. After the Nucleus runs and powder mining, you should have enough materials to forge yourself the Gemstone Drill. You want to stock Pristine 2 on this drill instantly, so mine Topaz in the Magma fields with your Bal Pit. If you dropped one from doing Nucleus runs or running the Yagis, get Bal Pit, as this can help you with the Ruby mining and Topaz mining. But now you have 2 options, because with the Mining V2 update, it nerfed the Gemstone Gauntlet to the ground, halving the mining speed, which is significant. So the alternative method is, instead of just grinding Gemstone Gauntlet, which most people usually do at this point, you would get Topaz Drill and even get Jasper Drill. These drills are really free to craft. The only hard part is the magma cores, because it requires fishing. So if you have a good fishing site right now, I would recommend this method. If you have a shitty one, but you have the Reqs to do it, maybe it's still even worse. But you can go either way. It doesn't really matter. It's good for Mithril mining and it's good for Gemstone mining. Jasper Drill is only good for Gemstone mining. But my logic is you should use Mithril Drill when Mithril mining. It's slightly worse than Gauntlet, but it gives you more Mithril powder. So that's why I think the drill method might be the better way, where you just use Jasper Drill for Gemstone mining and Mithril Drill for Mithril mining to get Mithril powder. And Jasper Drill is actually a decent amount better than Gauntlet for Gemstone mining. So if you go the traditional method, you would just get Gemstone Gauntlet with your Gemstone Drill with Pristine 2 on it. You can knock this out during a fiesta. I don't think it takes too long, maybe a whole fiesta, depending on how good your powder is. I recommend having like 4 mil powder, or like 4 mil 2 mil, since Mithril is harder to get now. But we'll call this the drill method, where we get the Mithril Drill 326 and we get the Gemstone or Jasper Drill, which requires fishing. This will get you more Mithril powder for mining Mithril, and Jasper Drill, which is just a lot better actually for mining gemstones, and it has a breaking power 9, so you don't have to put any of that stupid scrap on it to increase the breaking power to mine other things. The Topaz Drill requires 8 magma cores and a flawless topaz and 3 gemstone mixtures, these are easy. The magma cores are the hard part. These are dropped by lava pigments and lava blazes, and a 1 in 200 chance. You fish these up at fishing skill 22, which isn't that hard to get if you just do a couple marina events, spooky fishing, and winter fishing. The best way to fish up magma cores is by finding any spot in the magma fields towards the top of the magma fields, so you can fish up a couple blocks above the lava where you're not in the magma fields. So I'm in the goblin holdout right now, even though I can still fish, and get a starter lava rod and just fish up the lava pigment and lava blazes. This is the only mob you can catch, so it is not even that bad. Because you might think 1 in 200 is pretty bad, but you're only fishing up lava pigments and lava blazes. So only 2 things you can fish up. So depending on your secret chance, which should have like maybe full shark scale or salmon with an ammonite pet and a starter lava rod, it shouldn't take too long, maybe a couple hours. Maybe you can also put some time into getting 2 flawless topaz, for the polished topaz round. This seems not needed because 2 flawless topaz with gemstone drill does take a little bit and is annoying. So I would just do starter lava round for now. But if it is slow, then maybe you might want to consider getting topaz round. Remember to also max out subterranean fisher, as this gives 25 my fishing speed and 5 super chance, which will actually help you a decent amount. Once you finish the 8 member course, you should forge your topaz drill instantly. The flawless topaz is easy, and the 3 gemstone mixtures you should already have most of it from powder mining and doing the nucleus runs. So this will be easy, and once you have this, I would put pristine 4 in this instantly. So go back to the mines, mine more topaz for pristine books, or prismatic books now they're called, and put pristine prismatic 4 in it. If you're doing the drill method where you use mithril drill and jasper drill, I would recommend getting drill parts. Get the mithril plated drill. It's not that expensive. It takes 2 drill motors, which is annoying, and a mithril plate, but it is worth 75 mining speed, mining fortune, and you want to max this out eventually, so might as well start working on it early. Same with the fuel tank. You need a fuel tank, actually. That's really important. This is pretty easy. 5 fuel canisters. Coal and diamonds are pretty easy to get with the new diamond blocks and coal blocks you can mine. And 10 mithril you should have from doing your commissions for mithril powder. So if you're doing the drill method, you want to be looking at these and seeing how much it is to upgrade and start upgrading them as you go on. Because I think the first 2 upgrades, titanium, isn't that bad. I think up to ruby it gets hard because you need perfects. So you can get titanium plated drill engine pretty free. And same with titanium infused fuel tank. Because if you use a 5x sky mod, you can get this titanium really free. So this is pretty free. And then these 2 is where it gets difficult because you need more gemstone mixtures and shit. Same with ruby, you need a perfect ruby, which is really annoying to get. You can switch your parts for your drill by drilling Great Forge. I would recommend getting her contact too. I think she requires just an Abby phone. So you would right click with your Abby phone and have a second Abby phone in inventory and give it to her. You can fuel mobily, so if you're in the Crystal Hollows and you need to refill your drill, you can do it. You don't have to come back and sacrifice your route. Now that you have topaz drill, you might also want to consider getting jasper drill, although it is pretty expensive, and if you don't want to get it, I completely am fine with that because you're not sacrificing that much. I think it is 20 more fortune, 150 more mining speed, and a half a pristine, 1.5 pristine. So it's not that big of a deal if you don't get it. If the magma cores didn't take you that long, depending on your fishing setup, I would. The 100 treasure rate's kind of annoying, but I would you can powder mine in the mithril deposits or just kill team treasure hunt members. And the flawless jasper, you just need to find a grotto. That will take not that long with topaz drill. But yeah, I would get this if you can. It's optional. It's a museum slot too, and you'll need it eventually, but it's up to you because topaz drill is still good and better than gauntlet. Alright, now that you have jasper drill or topaz drill, whichever one you got, either one's fine. Now you're ready to mine the 4 flawless you need for Divan Armor. So you should have pristine 2 at least on your drill at this point. I said to go to pristine 4, but I realized you might want to get that after you get Divan Armor, as it could take a little bit. So either one's way works. If you mine topaz pretty fast with your bow pet, then get pristine 4 on it. Just don't get pristine 5. Pristine 5 is pretty expensive and it's not worth it. Remember to also put gemstones in your topaz or jasper drill. I would put a fine or maybe a flawless shade and a fine amber in both of these, as it's just an extra fortune buff. Your HOTM tree should look something like this for gemstone mining. It should be mining speed boost, get professional and gem lover, get fortune mine man, speedy mine man, and of course keep it cool. These are the important ones you should get. And sky mall is also optional, but also it could just give you free mining fortune and mining speed, which is obviously really nice. But upgrade mining fortune, mining speed, speedy mine man, fortune of mine man. Thank you. Friendly reminder, I didn't mention earlier in this video, but put a bejeweled collar on your bow pit. Extra mining speed and fortune. Pretty nice. Please do that. Awesome. The reforge you want on your topaz drill right now is scorched topaz. This only requires 1 flawless topaz, and then hearthstone's easy to get. This just gives you fortune and mining speed based on the heat you have, which is pretty good. If you find yourself not getting heat because of bow, I would just get Dwarven Geode. This requires treasurite. You can powder mine for this or just kill treasurite members. Okay, so at this point you should have the 4 flawless ruby you need. You should have all the sludge you need for at least Divan Armor right now from the powder mining you did. You should have the 24 Divan fragments you need and the 4 Jade Emeralds from the Nucleus runs you did. So now you should just forge your Divan Armor. It requires the flawless ruby, 4 Divan fragments, or 24 Divan fragments, and 10 mixtures per. This is free. You should have the sludge. You just need to mine the fines for the gemstone mixtures, which isn't that hard. So just do that, and then you have full Divan. As soon as you get Divan, you should A, recom it, and B, this is completely optional. But what I was looking at is Titanium Tesseract. This is a reforge you can put on your Divan, which gives plus 10 mithril powder when you mine titanium ore. So if you put 4, you'll have 40 mithril powder per titanium, which seems like a lot of mithril powder. So if you want, because you don't want to avoid a Jade Emerald, so don't put your Jade Emeralds yet. You can put full Tesseracted on your Divan, and then just max out mithril collection. Get all the mithril you need for 655, and all the titanium you need for 655, and everything in the game, and just grind that out. Because I don't know the rates, because I max out mithril powder, but I know some people are doing this, and it seems pretty good. On paper, 40 mithril powder per titanium seems OP, so I would consider doing this. Maybe take a look at it. Titanium Tesseracts, I think it's only 1 refined titanium, which isn't that hard, especially with 5x titaniums. So I would maybe consider doing this, but it's completely optional. You can just slap Jaded on there right away, so you can do other parts of the game with more efficiently. The big issue with this method is that it basically limits you for only grinding mithril powder until it's max, because you'll be grinding other stuff with a lot less fortune. Because Jade Emeralds give you 30 fortune per piece of Divan, when the Dimensional Reforge gives you only the 50 mining speed, not even a single fortune. So you'd want to just solely grind mithril powder until you have max mithril powder, because you'll be mining gemstones inefficiently with like 120 less fortune, which is a hefty amount. If you are devout enough to do that, I would just straight up grind mining, grind the mithril powder, get out of the way, as mithril powder is really annoying and is the hardest part of mining right now, because gemstone powder mining is so much more free. The tree you would use to most efficiently mithril mine for this method is basically everything I showed you before, with powder buff, fortune monument, speedy monument, sky mall, efficient miner, and mining fortune miner speedman, with the addition of titanium insanium. And obviously you would use Picabulus or mining speed boost, whatever one you prefer. If you did do this method, 12.5 million mithril is max powder, so get up to 12.5 mil mithril powder. Then you could take out Dimensional and put on Jaded. If you didn't do this method, you should obviously just recomment and put on Jaded instantly. And then your next step is to worm membrane fish. You have 2 options for membrane fishing. You can either lava fish or water worm fish. You should only lava worm fish if you have fishing 27 with the Magma rod. If you don't, just water worm fish with worm bait with your Rod of the Sea and full shark scale armor you should have at this point. If not, just 3-4 salmon and Hydra head will do. You can only water worm fish in the Goblin Holdout, so you have to find a lobby with water in the Goblin Holdout, of course. And same with lava fish. You can only worm fish in lava that's in the precursor remnants, so it's kind of annoying to find that, but they're not that hard to find. This grind is really annoying, but thugging out doing a marina is best case scenario. And remember to max out subterranean fisher every time you're fishing. This grind will actually get you a lot of fishing XP. I heard some people got to fishing 27 this way when they started out like fishing 22. So I would recommend trying to do this during a marina, as you get a lot more fishing XP. As soon as you get all the chambers, you should forge them. It requires 1 gemstone mixture per chamber, which is pretty easy to get. You should have the sledge fork when you powder mine still. And the finds are really easy. You just get them with your topaz drill. But once you have all them in, transfer all the finds from your dog into the Divan, and then mine up the extra finds that you're missing, so you should have all finds in your Divan. I would recommend, since you have a higher fishing level, fishing 27, with Magma rod, after getting all these chambers, I would upgrade your topaz drill to Jasper drill if you haven't already. If you already did this, because it didn't take long, then you don't need to worry about it. But if you don't have Jasper drill right now, I would recommend getting Jasper drill before you mine all the flawlesses and perfects for your Divan. So the order you get your gems for your Divan should be flawless topaz for everything first, then all flawless jade, then get perfect topaz, and then get perfect jade. Then after all that, you get flawless amber. Don't upgrade to flawless amber to perfect yet, because you should get 6 of 5 before then. After you have this min-max setup, you should start just mining for 6x5. This requires a lot of materials. Just do it one at a time. I'd recommend to break up the grind, but you need, that's pretty expensive, but it really doesn't take that long. You would use your mithril drill to get all this. If you did any of the strats I told you to get mithril powder first, you should have a good amount of mithril and titanium already. So you just need to mine gold, Glacite drills, and ores for drill motors, and coal for fuel canisters. So it doesn't really take that long. And if you didn't max out mithril powder from the strat, again, cannot stress this enough, keep doing events and still have the royal reforge on your equipment. I think it's called the Dwarven treasure. You get these from rewards from doing events, but put these on your titanium equipment and mithril equipment. Like I said earlier in the video, you should still have this on. Don't switch to blazing yet, because 5% from mithril powder from mining events does go a long way, especially when it's ×4. The only tips I can give for 6x5 grind is make use of the Sky Mall perks. 5x titanium, really good. And the plasma you need for, I think, the 555. Yeah, you need 20 plasma. This is just easily getting by killing ghosts with massive and boot sword. So just, you need to progress in Sven a little bit, get massive boot sword, should be good. Probably need a little bit of MP too, and then you should be able to figure it out. It's not that hard. You'll probably be able to 2-shot them, but 20 plasma with 2-shotting ghosts really isn't that bad. And of course, if you have max mithril powder, you should obviously, instead of using the mithril drill, as soon as you craft 3x5, use the 3x5 instead, and just keep using this drill as you upgrade it, as this drill is just better than mithril drill, because mithril drill is kind of ass. It's only good for the mithril powder. The drill parts you still should have are titanium and titanium. Ruby is not that hard to get, but you can, I would wait until you have 6x5 to get all these upgraded parts, as they are pretty expensive. You need a lot of perfects. You need more plasma for some stuff too, like perfectly cut and sapphire. You need a lot of plasma, so I would just wait until you can one-shot ghosts with a good melee setup until you actually craft all that. Actually, I'm looking at it, and instead of titanium fuel tank, you should probably get up the gemstone. Gemstone's kind of free. It's only 4 precursor apparatus and 10 gemstone mixture, so you can probably craft up to this. And perfectly cut, you can wait until you can one-shot ghost. And same with amber polish and sapphire. So I would get up to ruby and gemstone fuel tank when you have 605 at the beginning. And once you are more progressed and can one-shot ghost, I would get amber polished and perfectly cut. The reforge you want on your 655 is auspicious, but as soon as you get enough glossy gemstones for lustrous, I would switch to lustrous, as it's around the same amount of fortune. I think auspicious gives more if it's a Divan's drill, but still the mining spread is nice if you're mining umber, tungsten, or any ores. So I would just switch to lustrous as soon as you get enough glossy gemstones. Once you have 6 of 5, ruby polished drill engine, and a gemstone fuel tank, you are ready to get your perfect ambers. Obviously get all these perfects, the jade, topaz, and amber from a mining fiesta. I should have had that earlier, but mining fiesta would just double the rates, obviously make it a lot faster. And as soon as you can one-shot ghost, obviously like I said before, mine the gemstones for the remainder, amber polished and perfectly cut fuel tank. And that's your max mining setup basically. Now I want to talk about glossy gemstones and mining fiestas. So you should focus on mining gemstones for glossy gemstones first, because those are the hard part to get. You should get refined mineral until you have the talisman, refine the mineral armor, and of course enough for the titanium equipment, obviously your first couple early game. But when you do mining fiestas now, you should always mine gemstones until you have max glossy gemstones. So that means your 5 Divan powder coatings, that means your full gemstone equipment, that means your lustrous reforge, and your glossy mineral and mineral talisman. The order you should get these is glossy mineral first, then talisman, then 1 powder coating for your 6 of 5, then the lustrous reforge for your 6 of 5, then get 4 powder coatings for your armor, and then you get 4 gemstone equipment, and then last is another Divan powder coating for your future pendant, but you don't need to worry about that now. Pendant's not till a while. Another thing to add is once you have max mithril powder, take royal off your equipment and stop on blazing, which if you did any magma cores, you should already have some, hopefully, and just put it on your titanium equipment. And if you have gemstone equipment, put it on your gemstone equipment, of course, too.
Gemstone equipment is the best equipment for mining in the Crystal Hollows only. And full titanium equipment is good, is the best for mining in the Dwarven mines, of course. One thing I should add is the handy block guide. If you do such HBG, you get this guide. So there's 4 different types of fortune: Gemstone fortune, Dwarven metal fortune, block fortune, and ore fortune. You can just do HBG and figure out which block is in each one. So all the Dwarven metals are listed here, other gemstones obviously, but like the blocks and ores, you can figure out which one's which. And this will help you figure out what tree you want to do. So if you're mining ores, you want to get old school ore fortune, max that out. Another thing to note, mining speed, mining fortune are base fortune. So you always want to max it out no matter what you're mining. Because this is just base fortune on everything. But blockhead only is for block fortune. Same with gemstone fortune. The most efficient way to mine ores is wearing half glossy, half Divan, with your tree maxing out old school and using Maniac Miner. Please note that when you're using Maniac Miner, be attuned to sighted or bizarre, as it takes intellect to actually use the ability. The best pet is obviously either Scythe, but if you don't have a Scythe, you can just use Bal, as it gives base mining fortune, or even Goblin if you have it. The best way to mine blocks usually is wearing full mineral, but sometimes you want to wear a couple pieces if there's a limited option. But for mycelium, I wear full mineral and I just run around using any shovel, doesn't matter. I use a flint shovel, but you want to use Scythe pet. If you don't have Scythe, use Bal or anything that gives base fortune. Maybe even want to consider Snail, but I don't like the slowness of Snail, so I don't use Snail. And remember, you also want to max out Blockhead and still have Maniac Miner. If you swap, so if I right click and then swap to my flint shovel, it will count as if I have Maniac Miner. So that would give you a lot more fortune. It gives you like 1,000 fortune per. So it is really worth doing that. That's how you get my mycelium super fast in red sand. And that applies to basically everything in the block guide. The only blocks I would not use full glossy is glowstone, obsidian, and maybe even gravel. You just get slightly more fortune. Either way, it's not that big of a deal. It's not that less efficient if you're using 2 pieces or the full set. The Dwarven metal ores, as long with the gemstones, you wear full Divan, obviously. And the best way to find titanium and mithril is obviously in this vein above the bridge, as Dorbet and Deeb is doing right now. W him. But I would use mining speed boost or Pegabulus. Either one's fine. I don't even, it's up to preference. And if you're HOTM 8, I would get strong arm in metalhead, as this gives more Dwarven metal fortune and mining speed for mithril, titanium, umber, and tungsten. Obviously use Scythe if you have it. If you don't have Scythe, use Bal or Mithril Golem if you don't have Mithril Powder. Gemstone mining is the same thing, except you would use mining speed boost, obviously, and you max out gem level in professional, and get Sky Mall, of course, too. But you would use Scythe mining anywhere else except in the magma fields. If you're mining in the magma fields, use Bal. That means if it's a magma fields fairy grotto, use Bal. Topaz, use Bal, and Ruby, use Bal. Everything else, you should use Scythe. If you don't have Scythe, obviously, I would still use Bal for the base mining fortune. And the best way to mine gold is wearing full mineral, actually. This is the only ore you wear full mineral with your goblin pet out for the extra mining spread. If you don't have a goblin pet out, use either Bal or Scythe and just mine with Mining Madness. Last thing I should mention is, because I'm not going through Glacite camps, but max out Core of the Mountain till 7. I think the rest take Glacite powder, but this gives you more tokens to do more stuff with your tree, and base Mithril powder when mining Mithril, which is nice, and base Gemstone powder when mining Gemstones. So just do that when you have enough Mithril powder and Gemstone powder. Obviously, don't be stupid with it and just max it out as soon as you have enough, because if you use all your powder, then you'll be progressing really slow. So I would get like max out powder buff, and then after you max out powder buff, then put some in the Core of the Mountain. Don't use the powder that you need to max out powder buff to get Core of the Mountain leveled up. Some miscellaneous items you want to craft throughout this whole progression is the titanium relic. This is really free with 5x titaniums. Just make use of those. Another one is the artifact of power. This requires 36 gemstone mixtures, which just got a powder grind for. That's why I say powder grind in jungle for sludge juice. You need a lot for this and drill parts and drill in the 655 itself. Also, you want to craft a tier 5 beacon. This is really good, and a lot of people don't get this. So good. Also, you might want to also craft the travel scroll to Dwarven Forge if you haven't already. That's really cheap and might as well. Or Forge is really nice. I thought you automatically get this, but no, you don't. You have to Forge it. So I Forge this really early on. I completely forgot about this. Also, you want a drill module in your 605. So I would get any of these that you have. So if you have 96 yellow goblin eggs, I would craft the sunny side. This, you can powder grind for this really easily. So I would just do that if you don't have the max gemstone powder. Or I would just get this. This is really cheap and it's a little bit of a buff. But everything else is really useless. I would just get sunny side. Maybe you could put spicy goblin on your mithril drill if you have the red goblin eggs. But those are actually pretty tough to find. And the blue cheese are really hard to find. I would recommend just getting this when you are in the Glacite tunnels. And you slap this on your second drill. So you can drill swap and have the blue cheese effect for any ultimate pickaxe ability you use. A quick tutorial on how to drill swap. You would have blue cheese on this drill. And then I'd have my sunny side on this one. You would start on this one, right click, and then switch the turn to your Divan drill. And you'll have the blue cheese effect on your drill. Boom. That's simple. That's all I have for you for the mining guide. If I missed anything, let me know in the comments below. And hopefully you found any usefulness in this guide. And have a good day. Subscribe, like, comment. Peace!